Hi there, this video is an exam paper walkthrough of the AQA GCSE Mathematics Higher Tier Paper 2 from summer 2023. This paper is worth 80 marks in total and this is the first video of 4. It will focus on questions 1 to 8 which account for 19 of these marks. AQA Paper 2s are calculator papers, so a calculator should be used. A little disclaimer, there may be more than one way to answer a question. The methods shown in this video are not the only way some mathematical skills can be applied. Okay, let's get started. Question 1. Write 30 to 12 in the form n to 1. So I'm just going to rewrite this slightly because I want to see which part of the ratio that n relates to. So n means this side of the ratio can become any value, but this side needs to become 1. So to get from 12 to 1, I need to divide by 12. So to get from 30 to whatever goes here, I also have to divide by 12. 30 divided by 12 is 5 over 2. This is the only instance when you can have a decimal or a fraction value inside a ratio when you're simplifying to this form. So that missing value there is 5 over 2. It doesn't state whether it wants it as a fraction or a decimal, so we're good to go with that. Question 2. 4 consecutive triangular numbers are 6, 10, 15 and 21. Write down the next triangular number. So let's treat this like a normal sequence. So from 6 to 10 we add 4, 10 to 15 we add 5, 15 to 21 we add 6. So it stands to reason that the next number we would add is 7. 21 plus 7 is 28. So 28 is the next triangular number. Question 3. Write down the reciprocal of 4/7. So the reciprocal of a number is what you would multiply that number by to get 1. In this instance, we're dealing with a fraction, so it's simply a case of flipping that fraction upside down to find the reciprocal. If I had a decimal, I'd change that decimal into a fraction, and then I would flip it upside down. Question 4. The price of a toy increases by 12.5% to £19.53. Work out the original price of the toy. So if I've increased by 12.5%, that's 100 plus 12.5, so that's 112.5% in total. So this £19.53, using a proportion table, I use these quite often, you'll know from my other videos, that £19.53 is 112.5%. So that's our percent and that's our pounds. If we want to find the original price of the toy, we want to find what it was at 100% before we added the 12.5% on. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this down to 1%. So to go to 1%, I'm going to divide by 112.5. And I have to do the same on the other side. So 19.53 divided by 112.5, which is 0.1736. I'm aiming for the original. I'm aiming for 100%. So to go to 100%, I would then multiply the 1% by 100. So then let's do the same on the other side. Multiply by 100. That gives me 17.36. We're dealing with money, so we need it to be in 2 decimal places, so it's worth double checking that at this point. So the original price of the toy before the increase was £17.36. Question 5. Jess saves 2p, 5p and 10p coins. She has 45 10p coins, 8 times as many 2p coins as 10p coins, and then £17.70 in total. So they want us to work out the total value of 2p coins to the total value of 5p coins, giving our answer in its simplest form. Okay, So first of all, we have 45 lots of 10p coins. So 45 times 10 is 450 pence, which is £4.50. There are 8 times as many 2p coins as 10p coins. So if we've got 45 10p coins, we've got 8 times 45 2p coins. So 8 times 45 times the 2p is 720 pence, which is £7.20. So that's the total of 10p coins. This is the total of 2p coins. Now we want to find the total of 5p coins because it's the totals that we need inside this ratio for our answer. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add the two values together that we know. So £4.50 plus £7.20, which is £11.70. There's £17.70 in total. So I'm going to take that £11.70 away. And that tells me that there's £6 left. So that £6 must be the total of the 5p coins. So now we have to write our final ratio. So they want the total value of the 2p coins to the total value of the 5p coins, but we have to do it in our simplest form. So let's write the values we have now. So total of 2p to the total of 5p. So the total of 2p was £7.20. Total of 5p was £6. Now we need to get it into our simplest form. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide them both by 2. That gets us to 3. 3.6. Now I'm going to divide them both by 0.3 because I know that 0.3 goes into each of these. So 3.6 divided by 0.3, 12. 3 divided by 0.3 is 10, because then it's going to make my life a little bit easier to simplify. So now I can half both of these and gets to 6 to 5. 6 and 5 don't have a common factor other than 1 at this stage. So that's our simplified ratio. Question 6a. Part of a regular polygon is shown. Assume that the polygon is an octagon. Okay, so that's 8 sides. Work out the size of an exterior angle. So there are 8 exterior angles. So we've got 8 sides, 8 exterior angles. It's a regular polygon, so I'm expecting all those angles to be the same. Now, the sum of exterior angles is 360 degrees. So if I do 360 divided by the number of sides, that tells me that each of those exterior angles should be 45 degrees. I'm going to pop that on my answer line. 6b. In fact, the polygon has more sides than an octagon. What does this mean about the size of an exterior angle? And we've got to tick one of these boxes. So it's either going to be more than that answer, the same as this answer, less than, or it could be any of the above. So let's think about this. To find the exterior angle, we divide it by the number of sides. So here we divided by 8 to get 45. If the polygon has more sides than an octagon, then we're going to be dividing by a bigger number. If we divide by a bigger number, we're going to get a smaller answer. So we're going to tick that box there because it would be less than the answer to part A. Question 7. In a game, an ordinary fair 6-sided dice is rolled. The fair spinner shown is spun. The score is the dice number substituted into the spinner expression. Complete the table below to show all of the possible scores. So we've got 2x, 3x and x squared, and they're here in this table for us. And we are substituting. So these are the values that we substitute. These are the values on the dice. So if we roll a 1 on the dice, 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 3 is 6. This one's already completed. 2 times 5 is 10. And 2 times 6 is 12. 3x means 3 times x, so 3 times 1, already completed. 3 times 3, 3 times 4, 3 times 5, and 3 times 6. X squared, we multiplied the number by itself. So 1 squared is 1, 2 squared is 4, 3 squared is 9, 4 squared is 16, 5 squared is already done, 6 squared is 36. Part B, a player wins the game if their score is 10 or more. Work out the probability that they will win the game. So we're going to have a fraction here as our probability. So they win if they score 10 or more. So let's have a look at this table. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 scores are 10 or more. So that's the numerator for our probability fraction. Our denominator is the total number of scores. So 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. So we're going to put 18 on the bottom. It doesn't say that we have to simplify it, so I'm just going to write 8 over 18 on my answer line. Okay, the game is played 711 times. Estimate the number of games that are won. So we know the probability of winning is 8 over 18. And then if we multiply that by the number of times the game has been played, that should tell us how many games we would expect to win. 316. Question 8. We have this identity here because we've got the 3 lines in the middle. That means the left-hand side is identical to the right-hand side. Work out the values of A and B. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to expand and simplify the left-hand side just to make my life a little bit easier. So A multiplied by x squared is ax squared. Negative 3 multiplied by x squared is negative 3x squared. And then I've still got the plus 2b. I've not done anything with that. And that's identical to 5x add 12. Now, I'm just going to factorise these x squared terms. And then I can make some comparisons here. So, the a subtract 3 must be equivalent to the 5. And the 2b must be equivalent to the positive 12. So we can use this information to find the values of a and b. So a subtract 3 equals 5. So a equals 5 plus 3, which is 8. 2b equals 12. So b equals 12 divided by 2, which is 6.